Hey everybody, it's Andy from EX2 Adventures. In this video, I want to review the Rails to River XC mountain bike race course that takes place at the very awesome Lake Fairfax in Reston, Virginia. So we start this race out of Canopy Pavilion G, which is immediately on your right-hand side as you enter into Lake Fairfax Park. Let me switch over to satellite view just for a second. So when you enter in off of Baron Cameron Road, you enter the park here. There's a pavilion literally right on the right-hand side when you enter. We park in this grass field right in front of the pavilion, as well as in the Watermine parking lot, which is a gravel parking lot that you see here. Here's the Watermine Water Park. The race starts in the gravel road just next to where the pavilion is. So parking, bathrooms, porta-johns are back here. There's park bathrooms right over here in this building. So a couple different bathroom options, but everything is really, really close. All right, so this race is really three different events. We have the base race, which is basically one lap of the course. We have the sport race, which is 2 laps of the course. And the expert race, which is 3 laps of the course. We only have one race going on at one time. The race starts, again, in the gravel road right next to the pavilion, goes down the gravel road, and then quickly climbs, it's pretty steep, up into this field, which is right up here. And you can see these little squiggly lines. This is something we build for the race. It's basically a series of like cyclocross turns, really just to space out the field of riders. Once you go through these fields, go through these turns, you end up on this double track trail section here and then back to the gravel road. This gravel road goes down a little bit, then climbs back up, and then has a pretty steep descent down to where it crosses a wood bridge where you enter the main part of the course. This section here is really you only do it in the beginning and then at the end. So you hit the main part of the course here. This is the split point right here. So I mentioned in the sport race you do 2 laps, in the expert race you do 3 laps. This is basically, if you think about it, like the start and end of your lap point. Again, so once you come down this gravel road here, go across the wood bridge, you're going to take a right on some great single track trail here, a little bit of rooty, but nothing too technical. At about a little before a mile, you're going to cross over a creek. This is a totally rideable creek. And then once you reach the other side, you take a hard left. You're going to be on Apache until about mile 1.2, where we have an option for you. You basically have an A line to the left, which is shown in the map here, which goes over a pretty significant rock outcropping, which is going to be very challenging for a lot of riders. Or you take the B line, which is to the right, which is shown here, a little bit more climbing, but not technical. It's your choice on whether you take the more difficult A line to the left or the B line to the right. No matter which way you take, you end up back on the trail, continue down until you hit your next creek crossing. So this goes over here. There's a wooden bridge here. We don't go over the wooden bridge in the race, but just to the left of the wooden bridge, it kind of circles around and then leads back to the trail. There's a little bit of a drop here, but it's nothing crazy, and the creek is really low. Let's see, then you're going to come back to the trail, cross over Rails to River Trail here, and then you have a pretty technical climb. It's short with a couple switchbacks, but this is also a section that proves challenging for some riders. So just be aware that this is there, and again, if you have to walk this little section, that's totally fine. And then you get to one of my favorite sections of the trail in the whole park on Jawbreaker. This is really undulating, super fast section, just a really, really beautiful section of trail. Follow this along all the way around until you get to this point here. This is Lifetime Fitness here. You take a hard right and go over to the Rails to River Trail. Again, another really great section of trail, mostly smooth, super, super fun. And then you take a left on this trail here, another creek crossing, totally rideable again, and then a hard left here. This hard left here is not too steep, but it does have some loose rocks. And then you're going to end up on Chestnut, cruise around. This is kind of undulating, some short punchy climbs, some fun descents. And then this is a bridge here. You're not actually crossing a creek again. This is a wide enough bridge you ride across. Once you cross that bridge, you have another little techie section here. And then you're going to cross back over Rails to River to this really awesome section of loopy trail here. Super, super fun section. Can continues to the flow line here. There's some tabletops in this section. This is all really great, super awesome single track. There is a little bit of a drop here, not a drop, but like a little descent, kind of like a little bowl that goes up and down. Nothing too crazy, just watch your speed on the tabletops and this little loopy descent. Take that all the way around. It continues all the way around until you get another creek crossing. Again, totally rideable creek crossing. Back to Rails to River. Follow Rails to River. This is a great section of trail here. Good passing opportunities. Hard right on hillside. Take hillside around. This is kind of go up and down a little bit. And then you follow this trail, and you're going to follow it to connect it to Southside. A little bit of climbing here, all the way to the top of Southside till you connect it to Jenberg Trail. Jenberg, you take a left, cruise down here. One of the best sections of single track in the park on Jenberg. Cross over this creek here, back to Rails to River, and then you follow this up to the soccer fields. At the soccer fields, we have an aid station that you're going to hit twice. Once here, it's about mile 5.7, and then again around, I think it's like 6.5. What is it? Oh, sorry. You hit it at about 4.7 or so, and then again around 5.7. So about a mile later. But you do hit it from both directions if you want to. After you go through the aid station, you hit this section of trail here. There is a little bit of a rocky and a rooty section here, so please use caution. A little bit of a climb, and then you had this really fun, awesome flowy section with a really great descent and climb back up until you cross the creek yet again, and then take a hard left, and then a little bit of climb all the way up, back up to the soccer fields. Again, hit that aid station. Then you go to Lake Fairfax Trail. This was built a couple years ago, super awesome, flowy. And that's going to connect you all the way over to the campground, which is the last portion of the course. And then you go zoom down through the campground. This is a really, not rocky, but kind of typically rooty section of the course. Go behind the campground here, and then you have a final descent into the lap point. Now, if you're doing the base race, once you get to this point, you go straight across the bridge and basically backtrack what you did at the beginning. Go through these little turns and then to the finish. That's if you're doing the base race. If you're doing the sport race, which is the 2-lap course, when you get to this point, you take a hard left and do the whole thing again. So all the way around until you get to this point the second time. And then you go to the finish. If you're doing the expert race, you go down the first time, do a second lap, do a third lap, and then the end of your third lap, then you go back to the finish. So the base course is about 7.5 miles. The sport race, which is the 2-lap race, is about 13.5 miles. And the expert race, 3 laps of the main course, comes in around 19.5 miles. Lake Fairfax is awesome. It's a little bit of everything. No crazy extended climbs, enough techie stuff to keep it really interesting, enough fast and flowy stuff to make it super exciting and a nice change of pace. I love Lake Fairfax. It's a special place, and I'm glad you're doing the race. And we can't wait to see everybody on race day. See ya.